Hey guys, welcome back. Today we'll be, I guess, doing the whole investigation for the what I suppose is the last chapter of Danganronpa, Goodbye Despair. So we left off right before the investigation, so right here, and what I'm guessing is that we have to find like basically clues that lead us to, I guess, in a sense, who the mastermind is, because we don't have that information just yet. We also have to find out like the truth of the world we're in, because a lot of different like very strange things started occurring. For example, the people that were supposedly dead, they started randomly appearing. The screen started to glitch as well. I already had like a theory about that. You guys can probably see that in another video. I'm not going to talk about that right now. It's probably not the most accurate theory, but it kind of makes sense, I guess. Or it at least has like a specific perspective, and I'm guessing the game is going to go along with a similar perspective to what I stated. Although maybe not, I don't know actually. And, well, we have a lot of things to investigate. So, I'm not sure where we have to start. I don't know if we have access to the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy, because there was a lot of sections that were blocked. Okay. As I said, there was a lot of sections that were blocked off, right? And we were currently at the gymnasium, as you saw. Now we're on, was it like the 4th or 5th floor? It was like the highest floor, right? So, let's see. That's weird. This is the hallway I walked through to get to the gymnasium, but it's clearly different. Is this what Monokuma's doing too? Is he trying to confuse us again? I don't know how he's doing it, but he keeps doing it over and over again. He's so persistent. But I'm not gonna fall for his trap. There's no way this will make me back down. Okay, so we can clearly see the screen is glitching. That might get annoying at some point, honestly, I don't know. And we also see the locked doors towards the classrooms. And towards the stairs as well, you know. Okay, so it was the 5th floor. Okay. The thing is, this kind of gives me the hint that we're in like a virtual reality or something, or just like kind of distorted memories maybe, honestly. Because like, how could you have the ability to do this kind of stuff, right? So let's see. I guess we can talk to Sonia since she's like right here. This hallway, there's a strange feeling to it, no? As if an invisible wall has been erected to limit our movement. Okay, so they don't see the like glitchy things around the doors that don't let us pass. Maybe they don't. Is it just me? I'm guessing it's not just you. So, we have, this was the classroom, right? Where the tragedy happened? Was it that the case? This is the biolab where the corpses are. We can't access that. The walls are pretty weird as well. Where else can we go from here? We have this was like a dojo thing, right? Yeah. We can access the dojo, so let's see. I see something on the ground. Might want to pick it up. Is this a dojo? It's full of strange things that make me think there's no way we're inside a school. Perhaps it's a mistake to expect the inside of this building to make sense. Okay. What is this? It's a book. Is it useful though? I see Chiaki on the cover. Isn't that Chiaki? That kind of looks like Chiaki. What is this? Is this a manga? The title is Manga for Morons, A History of Hope's Peak Academy by Monokuma. Why is a manga with such a suspicious looking title laying out in the open like this? Let's start with history first, class. Reading manga is the 3rd best way to learn about history. Then, what's the first, you ask? That depends on the person. Fair enough. I mean, that is true though. Education does depend on the person. So, just as I thought, Monokuma made this. That actually explains how suspicious it looks. I really want to just ignore it, but there's no way I can do that. Fine, I'll look at it. I'll look at anything that might be a clue to getting out of here, no matter what it is. Okay. Let's see then. Okay, so it's not necessarily Chiaki, but come on, that kind of does look like Chiaki. And I'm guessing that cat in the back could probably be like Monomi. I mean, it gives me Sailor Moon type of vibes as well, so it could be inspired off of that. I don't know. I picked up the manga off the floor and started flipping through the pages. It's an introduction to Hope's Peak Academy's history, as narrated by the cutesy character on the cover. That's a pretty thick manga, not gonna lie. The story begins with an introduction to Hope's Peak Academy. Hope's Peak Academy is a government-funded school of privilege where only the most talented high school students can hope to attend. Built to raise hope in the nation's future, many of its alumni are key leaders of various industries. New students are chosen through a scouting process, but the ones who scout them are Hope's Peak Academy's teachers, who serve as both educators and researchers of talent. Hope's Peak Academy isn't just a school for talent, it's also a school for researching talent as well. However, for the past few years, Hope's Peak Academy has been suffering from a decline in funding. If this persists, the Academy believes they will not be able to make progress with the research of talent. So, they decided to implement a new system, the Reserve Department. Unlike the main department who scouts for students, the Reserve Department utilizes a general entrance exam. Normal faculty was hired and placed in charge of looking after the Reserve Department. The expenses and exam fees for the Reserve Department are quite high compared to most high schools. Nevertheless, Hope's Peak Academy received an endless stream of applicants. Hope's Peak Academy was now available to talentless commoners, people who only cared about the brand. With this, Hope's Peak Academy managed to amass sizable funds and began further research of talent. To create Hope's Peak Academy's earnest wish, a true genius who would become mankind's hope. But just when they thought everything was going well, an unprecedented incident occurred. The incident that triggered the tragedy. Okay, we're seeing that again. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. That's right, it was the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Hope's Peak Academy was crippled by this incident and was forced to shut down without accomplishing anything. The end. Fair enough. The ending was so sudden, like a manga that's suddenly cancelled in the middle of its run. I guess that's a pretty good analogy. Plus, these phrases mentioned at the end of the manga. The tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. These names are so melodramatic. There's no way incidents really happened, right? This manga only mentions the names, so I don't really know the details. But no, it'd just be a waste of time to wonder about things that don't make sense. More importantly, I learned something because of this manga. The Reserve Department. That department was only built to collect the money. I was one of those Reserve Corps students, right? That's weird. Oh, you're here again. The thing that's weird is you, of course. Why did you forget that you were part of the Reserve Department? The Future Foundation only took away your school life memories, right? But you should know even before you entered that you had no talent, right? So I think it's weird that you actually forgot something like that too. What do you want me to say? Based on your assumption, the Future Foundation must have wanted to hide the fact that you were one of the Reserve Corps students. Or you willingly sealed those memories yourself. You wanted to be confident in yourself, so you wanted to forget everything that embarrassed you. You know, when humans experience trauma, sometimes they erase their memory of what happened. Okay. It happens pretty often. Not that I'd know anything about that, though. Are you saying it's my fault I forgot? That's not it. When things get inconvenient, you always get angry and try to brush it off. Well, that's expected of a Reserve Corps student. I mean, my only doubt is, if we're part of the Reserve Corps, why are we stuck in this killing game thing, right? Okay. Reserve Department has been added to the Truth Bullets, but the manga not? Okay. Now, where should we go? I guess we can go to like the... what was it called? The green area over here. No, never mind, it's blocked off. Then, where else are we supposed to go? Oh, Kazuichi. Maybe he has something. This hallway is kinda creepy. I can't go to places that I should be able to go to. It's like some rule is being enforced for no reason. It's like there's an invisible wall or something. Okay, so they can't see it. That's very interesting though. Am I like allowed to go into these? Because I can't. Did something get unlocked after me doing that? because I don't see access to anywhere else though. I don't know. I can't go in there. Can't go over here. Oh, this one unlocked itself. Okay. So I'm guessing it's kind of like a lineal progression they're trying to enforce us. Interesting. There's another, I guess, manga? Let's see. Yeah, this is another manga. It's laying on top of the desk. This one is Manga for Morons, The Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Huh. What's that? Wasn't the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy mentioned in the other manga too? It's when Hope's Peak Academy went bankrupt, and it was the trigger for the biggest, most tragic, most awful event in human history. If I read this manga, will I be able to learn a little more about that incident? Let's see. Okay. Is that Kyoko's dad? Is it? I think it kind of looks like him. And we have the skull in the background, so maybe that's like a hint. Because, you know, we found his skull last game, but whatever. I took the manga from the desk and started flipping through the pages to see what I could learn about the event known as the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. The story made heavy use of outdated, stylized drawings depicting characters solving mysteries. What's written here is, as the name suggests, the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy occurred at Hope's Peak Academy. Of course, the key player in that event was a student named Izuru Kamukura. Is that the mastermind for this game? Izuru Kamukura. Okay. Izuru was a genius known as a symbol of hope. Interesting, because I'm guessing he probably aligned towards despair, got contagious by despair. I don't know. Hope's Peak Academy used all their resources to develop him. Supposedly, Izuru was a genius among geniuses and possessed various talents. Okay, so he's fucking broken. He's OP. He has protection from the gods or something. I don't know. Wielding superior talent for the hope of mankind. The Academy referred to Izuru as the ultimate hope. Okay. Is that his actual official title, or is it like a decorative title? I guess they use that kind of because he's said to have a lot of talents, so maybe they can't, like, I don't know, why don't they call him the ultimate I don't know. What about the ultimate or the ultimate multi-talent? I don't know, something like that. To protect such rare talent, the Academy completely concealed all evidence of Izuru's origins and identity. Because of that, most of the students at the Academy were completely unaware of Izuru's existence. So, what did he do? Was he like undercover, or was he taught totally separately to everyone else? Because that's sad. Either way, I don't know. But Izuru, who was known as the symbol of hope, was responsible for a horrible incident. I'm guessing he killed everyone, right? 13 students at Hope's Peak Academy Student Council, among the Academy's best and brightest, were brutally murdered by Izuru. Okay. Is one of his ultimate abilities being like an assassin or something? Because, I don't know. However, the incident did not end there. The Academy tried to protect Izuru's superior talent and concealed the incident as though it never happened. Well, that's kind of fucked up, honestly. Like, I think that was a horrible move by Hope's Peak Academy. Like, I'm on board with whatever they were trying to do, like, to get everyone who's aligned to Hope and have an ultimate talent together, because that's kind of cool, right? But concealing someone killing 13 people just because they're like the ultimate hope or something, that's just a bit not okay. However, a certain student began working in secret to use that incident to their advantage. Is that maybe Junko they're referencing? I don't know. I don't think I have enough information to like state anything right now. That student uncovered what the Academy did, and by making that knowledge public, it stoked the fires of Reserve Corps students who had long been dissatisfied with how they'd been treated. And the uprising began. And that heralded Hope's Peak Academy's destruction. This is the entirety of the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. I think there's a bit more. There has to be more. Eventually, that incident would lead to that horrifying, devastating incident. The incident that would be known as the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. We're excited. Danganronpa 0. Okay. With a heavy sigh, I closed the manga. Am I supposed to believe this? There's no way 13 people were killed at Hope's Peak Academy. What irony. For a genius known as the ultimate hope to cause such a gruesome incident. A talent like that is too regal for society. It's like trying to buy juice with a bar of gold. You should be lucky that you're incompetent. Okay. Damn it. He always has to lead up to something offensive. He seriously pisses me off. But ultimate hope. Nagito mentioned that before too. But it looks like it means something completely different here. What Nagito said was the true meaning of hope. But for Izuru, hope simply means talent. Okay, that makes sense. More importantly, a genius who possesses various talents. I wish they had given me one of those talents so I didn't have to be in the reserve department. That's right, the reserve department. Here it said that the reserve corps students in the reserve department began uprising. Then, what about me? Was I a participant too? No, that's not possible. There's the way I have no reason to do something like that. Okay. Anyway, I've learned about the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy, but the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is a far worse incident, right? What kind of incident was it? And who's the other student that isn't Izuru? A certain student who secretly used the incident to their advantage. Who is that? Probably, I'm honestly guessing it's Junko just because I have no other names right now. Kind of makes sense. This incident is really messed up, but all it's doing is raising more questions. The mysteries just keep piling up. Okay, let's leave. I'm guessing a new area, probably unlocked. It's not the door next to us. Is it the door in this area? Nope. Is it the bio? It is the bio. Okay. Let's go to the bio lab then. Are the corpses still here from the last game, or have they been cleaned up? I don't know. What the hell is with this room? It's freaking cold in here. It's like I'm in a freezer or something. If I just stand still, I might end up freezing to death. I should hurry up and investigate so I can get out of here already. Okay, another manga. Does this talk about the most horrifying event? There's another manga just laying around here. This time the title is Manga for Morons, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Okay. I knew it. The next one would obviously be about this incident. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, huh? Just what was that incident really all about? It might turn out to be something lame. Nah, dude, it's not lame. I flipped through the pages of manga and hope that I was right. Sorry, you're not right. Okay, that's a pretty fucked up title, or not title, the image. A story about creepily drawn characters who get involved in such horrifying incidents. An incident known as the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Is this drawn so grotesquely because the incident itself is that grotesque? Anyway, the beginning of this creepy manga starts with this sentence. The tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was simply the trigger. At first, the uprising by the Reserve Corps students had triggered the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. It was initially hoped to be resolved quickly, but the situation continued to escalate to dangerous extremes. The movement started spreading all over the internet and fostered a thriving online community. The community was not limited to students, and people of various races and nations began joining in. But the movement was not confined to the internet and began spreading and eroding the real world. Okay, just like real life, I guess. When the movement started, it was indistinguishable from any other demonstration inspired by social unrest. But as it spread across the world, certain abnormalities soon came to light. By then, it was too late. The ends and the means had vanished, and wanton destruction became their only goal. Okay, that's kind of extreme. The strong butchered the weak. The weak killed the weakest among them. And soon, the weak formed factions to brutally murder the strong. Yeah. I guess that could happen. As the violence and death continued to spread, the shock of their actions began to disappear, as if the era was regressing to more uncivilized times, when senseless deaths were the norm. The media was oversaturated with deaths to the point where people would watch them while enjoying a meal. By the time the world realized what it had become, it was too late to stop what had happened. A feeling of immense despair began spreading and eventually engulfed the world. Acts of terrorism and coup d'etats began occurring around the world. A war waged in the name of despair. A war fought not for principles, religion, or personal gain. Just war. I mean, I can totally see that happening actually because yeah, I don't have any doubts that that could be a possibility, like in real life as well. It would take some serious ass trigger to do so, like not something so plain as the incident here, right? Or maybe it would. I don't know. Humans are surprising. We're all surprising. Pure war. And because of that, there was no way to resolve it. How could a movement started by high school students progress to such a hopeless scenario? The only explanation is the existence of a certain organization, devoted to a certain student who influenced Hope Seek Academy, a group called Ultimate Despair. Instead of using Hope Seek Academy's talents for the sake of mankind's hope, they used them for the sake of mankind's despair. Key members of society used their influence to brainwash the masses in order to spread despair. Tech-savvy computer programmers wrote software to spread despair. The powerful and influential created new values and morals to spread despair. And with this, they created the tragedy, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. As long as ultimate despair exists, the despair engulfing the world will never end. The tragedy will never end. Okay. Fair enough. My heart was racing in my chest, but my body felt ice cold. And it wasn't because I was freezing in this room. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, this is definitely all made up. I mean, if this is really true, then what's happening in the outside world? My family, my friends, the convenience store I frequent, the nearby bookstore, my favorite restaurant. What's happened to them? Hey, are you seriously yelling at a manga? How crazy are you? Who would enjoy reading something like this? Oh my, you don't like manga? A high school student who doesn't like manga is like an office lady who doesn't like to eat candy. Enough. What is this messed up manga? I thought you'd obviously know about such a horrible event that destroyed the world, but for you not to remember that, such despair. That's the Future Foundation's fault though, thanks to them stealing your school memories. The incident that happened during that period has been completely removed from your brains. This incident really happened, and I actually forgot about it? There's no way that's possible. How many times do I have to tell you? All the clues here are real. Please understand, I'm rooting for you. If you don't learn about the full extent of the outside world, you guys will suffer for it. I just want to help you guys so you can live well-adjusted lives in the outside world. I see, so that's how it is. That's what he meant by what he said at the beginning. Well, as the headmaster, I'm conflicted, you know. On one hand, I'm really happy that you're finally going to graduate, but on the other hand, I'm worried about whether you guys will be okay in the outside world. That's why I'm thinking about telling you what the outside world is like before you make a decision, whether you want to leave Jawork Island or stay here. He's trying to make us feel despair toward the outside world, so we'll want to stay on this island. But there's no way I'm going to do what he wants. Despair like that simply can't exist. The outside world should be filled with hope, just like now. Perhaps, no, that's definitely it. Okay. Whether or not this incident really happened, what in the world is this Ultimate Despair group? If they're devoted to a certain student who guided Hope Seek Academy to its destruction, are they connected to both the tragedy and the tragedy of Hope Seek Academy? Plus, that organization isn't just one person, but a group of people. But if they're known as Ultimate Despair, they're high school students, right? Well, if they were actually able to do it, then I guess that's why they were called Ultimates. Then are the killings we're involved and connected to them as well? We are involved, okay. It's no use, I'm going to freeze to death. I'm at mat limit. I need to get out of here. Shivering, I ran out of the freezing room. Okay. Where do we go now? Phew, that was close. I nearly froze to death. So, where should I go next? Maybe this is unlocked? No, it's still locked. How about this one? Okay, this one's unlocked. Let's go there. Classroom 5B. I don't see a manga though. But Monokuma's here. No, I should ignore it. I'm just going to pretend I didn't see him. Okay, then let's talk to Fuyuhiko. When I went inside this room, that bastard bear was suddenly here. He keeps glancing at me. I wonder why. It's gonna be shitty either way. So I'll let you handle it. There's no way I'm gonna deal with that idiot. I don't want to do that either. So do we just talk to him? Why, hello, Hajime. I hope you're doing pleasingly well. Are you pleasingly well? You're pleasingly well, right? What are you doing here? Well, there was another thing I need to tell you on this floor. I got bored of drawing manga. Can you forgive me for telling you by word of mouth? You should have done that from the beginning. I didn't want to read your manga in the first place. A high school student who doesn't like manga is like a sumo wrestler who doesn't like eating hot pots. I'm getting really fed up with your babbling. Hurry up. What did you need to tell me? It's about that key piece of information you've been waiting so long for. Surprise! It's about ultimate despair. Even though the term ultimate despair refers to a group these days, it was originally the title for a high school girl who was the most powerful, evil, and feared person alive. So Junko, right? A high school girl. Yeah, Lady Junko Nashima. Okay, there we go. Junko Nashima. As a former ultimate despair, she created a despair brimming with charm and humor, and created the ultimate despairs. There was one really horrible person in that group. Hold on a sec. I don't know what the ultimate despairs are, but it's not that easy to form an organization. There's no way people would join some fucked up organization created by a high school girl. Humans who are obsessed with their philosophy have an uncanny power to attract others. It's a trait shared by many famous leaders throughout history, right? There's nothing strange about it. That holds true for Lady Junko. I don't like how they call her Lady. Like some sort of lord or something, I don't know. With a charismatic ability to attract people, she even influenced those in the highest echelons of power. Her connections were the main reason that incident became the tragedy in the first place. So she even recruited people who would have been in a position to neutralize the threat. Then, what was their purpose? Like I said, why did they cause that incident? It doesn't even make sense. They had a purpose, right? There's no way they do what they did without any purpose. It was Junko Nashima's despair. For Junko Nashima, despair isn't about purpose, a set of principles, a way of life, or an instinct. Despair is what defines Junko Nashima as Junko Nashima. What are you saying? I'm a stuffed plushie. Hajime is a human. It's exactly like that. Junko Nashima is full of so much despair that she's truly hopeless. Living, dying, eating, loving, for her, everything is despair. What the hell? That's kind of extreme. With her overwhelming force of personality, Junko recruited the ultimate despairs one by one. She controlled their despair by taking advantage of their love, hate, grudges, anything really. Junko's despair is far more dreadful than any other. That idea had been slammed right into their minds. And so the ultimate despairs, who had been recruited, became nothing more than Junko's limbs. That's really messed up, but she died after that, right? I wonder if they brought her back or something, I don't know. All despair, whether it was their own or anyone else's, was dedicated to Junko Nashima. Like believers making offerings to their god. Like a mother providing food to her children. They dedicated all despair so they could escape from despair. All in Junko Nashima's name. For example, they killed their families and friends. and even destroy their bodies through relentless mutilation. Okay. And to hopelessly top it off, they completely believed it was something that they had to do. There's no way something that crazy is possible. Do you know about the final days of the Reserve Corps students during the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy? Final days. Junko has the power to change people's values. This is also true of famous people throughout history. Hey, what do you mean final days? What happened to the Reserve Department? They fulfilled their role as disposable limbs. They believed in what they needed to do. And so, the 2,357 students of the Reserve Department all committed mass suicide. Why are we alive? Why are we alive? Why do we live? Just to suffer? Mass suicide. All 2,357. Oops, it wasn't all of them. One person was excluded. I guess me. One person was excluded, huh? Is that me? I don't believe it. There's no way I can believe this. Ultimate despair, Junko no Shima. It doesn't scare me at all. I mean, Junko no Shima is already dead. Okay, how did he know that? I don't know. Okay, let's see. We still have to talk to someone, huh? Fuyuhiko, maybe? Hey, Fuyuhiko, is it true what you said? Junko no Shima is really dead? What? You didn't see? There was a book called Manga for Morons, Killing School Life, in that bloody classroom. The bloody classroom? No, wait. What was that you said about the Killing School Life? Like, the killings we're involved in, they were killings that happened at Hope's Peak Academy. As I recall, the mastermind took her own life because the remaining students worked together to defeat her. Yeah, that's what it was. The Killing School Life ended up failing in the end. As a result, the 6 students who survived managed to escape from the academy. For a manga about the Killing School Life, it was drawn with a lot of silly images and dumb gags. According to that, the mastermind behind the failed Killing School Life was Junko no Shima. The mastermind took her own life, which means Junko no Shima is dead. It turns out that Killing School Life was part of the whole biggest, most awful whatever incident. Junko took away the memories of former students of Hope's Peak Academy and forced them to kill each other. Former students of Hope's Peak Academy, and she took away their memories. That's just like us. Apparently, the whole thing was filmed by surveillance cameras and broadcast worldwide. There's a limit to being a cruel asshole. The surveillance cameras were broadcasting the whole thing. The students of Hope's Peak Academy are widely known as symbols of hope. By forcing people to watch these symbols of hope kill each other for the sake of survival, they were trying to fill everyone who watched the broadcast with despair all at once. That's messed up. But that messed up plan was stopped. Junko no Shima failed. Junko lost to the students she placed in her trap, and after being overcome by despair she took her own life. Then Junko is no more. No matter how horrible she was, there's no reason to fear someone who's dead. Whether Monokuma's story is true or not doesn't matter. Junko no Shima isn't alive anymore, but her organization probably is. And, well, they basically summed up the whole first game in those few sentences, actually. So, they kind of refreshed everything, I guess? I don't know. Then, who is our enemy? Maybe it's Izuru. I don't know. If Junko no Shima is already dead, are the rest of the Ultimate Despairs behind this? Are the followers of Junko carrying out her will? That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, the killings were involved and resemble that Killing School Life. Well, I don't know who the hell is imitating Junko and making us go through this, but an imitation is just that, an imitation. If the students from Hope's Peak Academy stop the real deal, there's no way we'll lose to some fake. But if this is really an imitation, are those surveillance cameras the same too? The cameras all over Jabberwock Island. Are they broadcasting to somewhere, just like the surveillance cameras during the Killing School Life? Okay, Killing School Life has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook. And the Ultimate Despair has been updated. Man, Hajime, you totally know about that story, huh? What, do you have a problem with that? Well, I really wanted to read the manga version since I took the time to draw it. Oh well, I'll just raise the flag. Flag? What do you mean raise the flag? What's going to happen if you do that? One step at a time. You're getting closer to clearing my character route. You're not making sense again. Now then, I'll give you guys my all. I'll tell you everything I know, including information on the outside world and the inside. I'll raise them flags like crazy. Fair enough. Let's go. Maybe we go to the bloody classroom? I don't know. Oh. Okay. We're on the other floor now. Let's change to a different hallway again. It's so sudden. What's going to make something like this happen? No. I've already decided that I'm not going to be surprised. That's right. There's no time for me to be surprised by something like this. So where do we go? Closed up. It's closed up. The data room closed up. The music room is open. Okay. What is that weird thing? This looks like the music room. I feel like I can see something strange. Looks like it's some sort of monument. Why would there be a monument in a music room? And not just that. The mark engraved into the monument is a symbol of a future foundation, right? Below that symbol, there's a short passage engraved. To combat the biggest, most awful, most tragic events in human history, the graduates of Hope Peak Academy were among the many who established the Future Foundation. Okay, so the Future Foundation is established by ex-alumni of Hope Peak Academy. The Future Foundation was established by the graduates of Hope Peak Academy. Aren't they known as World Ender? This is completely different. Monokuma, he completely made it up. Okay. Do we leave? No, there's still more to investigate. Hologram thing. What is this? Words are floating in the air. This is like a hologram, right? The floating letters are forming a sentence. Looks like a passage from an email. Regarding the report we gave you the other day, we have obtained information, a person who claims to be a survivor of Hope's Peak Academy. Upon further investigation, there are a total of 15 survivors. Okay. 15 survivors. We know of 6 from the first game. And let's just pretend that all 5 of us survive. That would make 11. So we'd still be missing 4 people. I don't know. Maybe the others are like aligned to the Ultimate Despairs. I don't know. You may be wondering about the number of people at this time. If they're survivors of Hope Peak Academy, it's possible they may be targeted by Ultimate Despair. We believe we should acquire them and place them in our care as soon as possible. Though I don't believe the group can go that far without Jinko Nashima rallying them. In a worst case scenario, we must prevent a repeat of the Killing School Life. Well, they fucked up, because we're here. Also, if they are survivors of Hope Peak Academy, we should expect them to be quite valuable to us. However, we are still investigating the details of their origins and we haven't located them either. We will continue investigating this matter. Also, regarding a separate matter, we have received a report from the research facility on Jabberwock Island. Okay, preparations have been completed. It seems we can proceed with the experiment phase of the Neo World program. Okay, is the Neo World program where we at right now? Because, like, that kind of sounds like a virtual reality kind of stuff, right? And that totally goes on aligned with what I've been stating for the past, I don't know, 10 videos or so. So, if we're in the Neo World program, and that kind of sounds like virtual reality, then is no one actually dead? At least from the people that were here. And if that's the case, is the killing game from the first game also part of the New World program, or was that just actual real shit? I don't know. Let's see. Survivors of Hope Peak Academy. 15 students. Is that about us? But we were 16, weren't we? Oh yeah, Chiaki. Right. Excluding Chiaki was part of the Future Foundation, there were definitely 15 of us. But what does survivors mean? True. Okay. Okay, this starts to make a little more sense. It's like they're talking from some other world. What happened outside Jabberwock Island? If the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is really true, then the world isn't normal anymore. Maybe I'm starting to feel like we might be better off not remembering the memories we've lost. The Academy survivors, okay. I guess that's all the clues in this room. It's finally confirmed. The Future Foundation is on our side at least. They were founded by the graduates of Hope Peak Academy, and they took us in to protect us. But if that's true, Chiaki should have made that clear to us. No, as long as Monokuma was around, she probably couldn't say anything carelessly. Monokuma, if he's the Future Foundation's enemy, then his true identity must be the ultimate despairs who caused the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The ones who are carrying out the will of Junko Onishima are making us go through this. Also, this caught my attention in the email too. What is this research facility in Jabberwock Island, mentioned in the email? What's that about? The only Future Foundation facility we found was the ancient ruin. There's no way that's the research facility. If there really is a research facility on this island, there should be other Future Foundation members here. Somehow, there are still so many mysteries. Well, we're on the Neo program thing, right? Okay. Oh, what's happening? Oh, just a glitchy screen. Okay. Okay, if y'all played Genshin Impact, that kind of looks like one of the hypostases, if you know what I'm talking about. Cool. Not here. These two are still locked. How about on this side? The teacher's lounge is open. Let's go inside then. The office. It looks a bit different, doesn't it? It does. This feels different from classroom. The flowers are pixelated as well. It's probably the office, right? I mean, the room kind of has that stuffy teacher vibe to it. There was also a sign outside that clearly said the office lounge, so... The office, huh? Now that you mention it, it does look like that. More importantly, have you seen Miss Sonia? I don't see her anywhere. How much longer is this guy gonna be obsessed with Sonia? Give it up already. Okay, more holograms. Cool. There are letters floating in the air, like the music room from earlier. Looks like a passage from an email someone wrote. I think it's the same one from earlier. I guess I should read it. We understand this matter regarding the survivors. In order to safely acquire them, please do your best and continue your investigation. However, you must exercise extreme caution concerning the remnants of despair. Even though they have lost Junko Onishima, the fact remains that they are incredibly dangerous. Even after her death, the tragedy has not ended. Perhaps there is still a leader on par with Junko Onishima, probably Izuru. As long as we do nothing about the remnants of despair, we will not be able to end this incident. For this reason, the remnants of despair must be immediately eliminated once they are discovered. Everything is for the sake of a shining future. Okay, immediately eliminated. Does that mean this is an order to kill them? That doesn't sound peaceful at all. Well, I guess that's understandable. If the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is as terrible as it sounds, it's pretty much all-out war. If the remnants of despair are the ones waging that war, there is no way they'd be forgiven that easily. Okay. Remnants of despair have been added. There's more stuff to investigate here. Blackboard, maybe? There's something written on the blackboard. What's written here? List of subjects. Oh, it's our names. Okay. Okay. Our names, I've seen before. Yeah. There's a newspaper posted on the blackboard. Below that, Hiyoko Sayonji is written there. Why does she look kind of different in that picture? What is this newspaper? She looks older. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of hairstyle. What is this? It says Miss Hiyoko Sayonji. This can't mean the same Hiyoko, right? I mean, the Hiyoko we knew. She was much smaller and looked more childlike. It was pretty much her defining feature. Okay, here's the thing. If this is virtual reality, did they like alter our appearances as well? Because if it's kind of like the first game, then several years could have passed. Meaning, it would be normal for her to look older. But it would be weird if she looked older here because our memories were taken away. I'm guessing for the purpose of the Neo program thing, right? So it would make sense if they changed us to our, I guess, adolescent looking bodies. Maybe that's the case, honestly. She was much smaller and looked more childlike. It was pretty much her defining feature, yeah. But the photo in this newspaper, in a way, I can see the resemblance to Hiyoko, but her height and figure, it's too different from the Hiyoko we knew. What does this mean? This lady looks pretty mature. Is she Hiyoko's older sister or something? No, it says Hiyoko Sayonji here. Okay. Oh, then Hiyoko has an older sister with the same first and last name. An older sister with the same first and last name. That's the only explanation, right? I mean, look at it for yourself. That's not Hiyoko. But did you ever hear her mention an older sister? Well, it's not like I was that close to her or anything. She doesn't have an older sister. Hiyoko is the Sayonji family's only daughter. If she doesn't have a sister, then a relative? No, there's still too much of resemblance. That's Hiyoko. What are you saying? Hiyoko doesn't have a curvy body like this. I mean, she was famous for her childlike figure. She got away with all kinds of crap for looking like that. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe she had a growth spurt? What are you saying? She's already dead. There's no way she could have had a growth spurt. Well, regardless, all the clues I provided are true. If they weren't, it wouldn't be fair. Okay. What the heck? This is the truth? Then I'm guessing no one's dead if this is a Neo program, right? If this is the truth, then Hiyoko in the newspaper. Is he really saying this is the same person? That's impossible. I mean, how can there be a photo of a grown-up Hiyoko when she's already dead? Why does this even exist? Could it be related to that list of subjects over there? If it says subjects, maybe it means there was some kind of experiment, right? Did that experiment change Hiyoko's body? What am I saying? Just saying it out loud makes it sound messed up. What experiment? If it's some kind of experiment, it would mean that we're also test subjects, right? I mean, our names are also written on the blackboard under that list of subjects. But what kind of experiment was it? What's going on? It's better... Oh, the light went out. There we go. What's going on? It better not have anything to do with time travel. I don't think it's time travel. It's just... maybe kind of the same complexity, but not that outrageous. I don't know. What else do we have here? A portrait. Looks like Karl Marx or something. I don't know. An extremely overwhelming portrait is hanging on the wall. I feel like I've seen it before, but the name etched onto the place says Hope's Peak Academy founder. That Izuru Kamukura? Wasn't Izuru Kamukura Ultimate Hope? So he was kind of like a teenager? Unless they're trying to like, when they mentioned they were trying to like cover his existence up or something, then they maybe just did some shady stuff. So this could make sense, right? The founder of Hope's Peak Academy, and this name, Izuru Kamukura. Doesn't this clearly contradict the information I obtained earlier? Damn it. Another mystery. Okay. Okay, with this, you've totally raised all the flags on this floor. Congratulations, Hajime. You shall now go on to the next stage. Next stage? I'm guessing we're going on to the next floor then. Sure. Okay. Damn it, not again. The hallway is different from last time. I guess when that flag Wanakoma mentioned is raised, I moved to a different hallway than the last. But how could he do that? No, now's not the time to be confused by that. Thinking about it is just going to waste my energy. Okay, let's start investigating then. Let's go over to the... what was it? Like a bio lab or something? Yeah. Or physics lab, never mind. It's closed. So, what about this area? The art room is closed. How about the game room? The recreation room. That's open. Let's check it out. Okay. It's floating and stuff. There's a billiard table, a dartboard, and a shelf lined with magazines. It's hard to think a room like this actually exists inside a school. Okay, I see a file down there. Probably of our interest. It's a file with Hope's Peak Academy's seal on it. It says confidential. That means this is a big secret, right? Why would an important document be here? Why am I even asking a question like that? Obviously Monokuma is responsible. Anyway, I need to confirm what's inside the file. About the Hope Cultivation Plan. For many years, Hope's Peak Academy has conducted rigorous research into various talents. The Hope Cultivation Plan seeks to use the fruits of our labor to further our true goal. With our hands, we will birth a true hope that will bring hope to the entire world. Truly, the program is the next innovation in providing the ultimate education. This plan has been the Academy's wish since its foundation, so we must succeed at all costs. What followed was a series of detailed instructions and intricate orders. It was full of difficult technical terms, and I had no idea what any of them meant. However, the word True Hope left a strong impression on my mind for some reason. The Hope Cultivation Plan was created for the sake of birthing true hope. Hope's Peak Academy was behind something like that. I don't really get it, but there's something about these words. True hope, huh? Okay, let's add into the Truth Bullets thing. I'm guessing there's something else I have to investigate around here. Oh, the hologram, probably. So let's check out what this hologram says. This hologram again. Yeah. What's this one say? It looks like another email passage. Regarding the report we gave you the other day, we have finally succeeded in acquiring them and have placed them in our care. Though they were all dispersed, we were successful in acquiring all 15 of them. Due to the fact that we were unable to ask them about specific details, it is unknown how they managed to survive the tragedy. It's been reported that some are wounded, so it seems certain that they are survived under harsh conditions. Okay, makes sense, fair enough. Over the course of our detailed investigation, we determined that they are the same age as the others. So we have decided to entrust them to the survivors of the killing school. Oh crap, so that means we've met the others, right? Okay, so this basically means that we've met the 6 survivors of the first game. Which is interesting. Because are we going to meet them again? That would be very... I don't know what words to put it. Cool? I don't think that's fitting enough, but... definitely interesting though. As for the remnants of despair, there are still no solid leads regarding this matter, and we have no new information to report. We will continue with our investigation. Once they are discovered, we shall eliminate them immediately. Everything is for the sake of a future filled with hope. Okay. So it updated, and it updated that as well. Interesting. It says here that they succeeded in acquiring them and have placed them in our care. That means we should have been protected by the Future Foundation, right? Then why is this happening? If the Future Foundation was protecting us, why were we forced to kill each other on this island? Well, I guess it's not possible that the Future Foundation set this all up. My, Hajime. If you keep worrying like that, you're gonna get a toothache and collapse. It's your fault. What is this hologram thing anyway? That's exactly what it looks like. They're the Future Foundation's emails. I thought they made the perfect glue, so I did a little bit of hacking here and there to get them. You can even do that? Whoever's controlling you seems to possess many talents. Okay, Izuru. Fair enough. Well, who cares about me anyway? That's not important at all. There's no way that's not important. Its true identity should connect everything to what's happening right now. Okay. Leave here. Yes. Are we on to the next floor? We are. It's upside down. Okay. Looks like I'm in a different hallway again. I'm pretty much used to it by now. But even so, what is this space? Am I dreaming or something? I mean, this is just totally disconnected from reality. Man, I don't like walking like this, bro. The con is real glitchy. Isn't this a pool? Yeah, that's the pool. The two bathrooms. Stairs upwards. There was a Kane. And what did we have towards here? We have this room we can go into. And there was a room towards the back, right? Oh, this was the library. That's right. I totally forgot about that. Okay. Well, this place is upright. This must be a library. Monokuma probably left something here too. I should hurry up and find it. Well, there's a hologram right there. This hologram again. Must be another one of Future Foundation's emails. I should read it. There's no doubt there's another clue. To Future Foundation 14th Division, Makoto Naegi. Okay. Makoto. He's in charge of the 14th Division. Where are you guys? What are you doing right now? What you're doing is a serious act of treason. Do you understand? Why are you protecting the remnants of despair? It should be abundantly clear to you how dangerous it is to keep those people alive. Stay calm and think about this carefully. You guys are being lied to. Think carefully about what's important to bring the light of hope to the world. The 6 of you joined the Future Foundation because you agreed with our ideals, right? The Future Foundation rescued you from the tragedy. You survived and cooperated with recovering your memories. Immediately return the remnants of despair to our headquarters. Unless we eliminate them, the tragedy will never end. Everything is for the sake of a future filled with hope. Okay, so that took a complete turn that I was not expecting. And now I'm at a loss again for how the story is going to progress. What does this mean? This email suggests that someone was trying to let the remnants of despair escape. This email is addressed to Makoto Naegi. But he's with the Future Foundation, right? Then why is he trying to protect the remnants of despair? Did he betray the Future Foundation? Was he contagious by despair? Maybe? I don't know. So they've been updated. We can leave now. Fair enough. Where are we gonna go now, though? Let's see. We're still on the 2nd floor. I'm gonna go quickly check the room in the back. It's a classroom, right? Yeah, it's open. Okay. I wonder if we're gonna find another manga or what kind of secret is gonna be here. Screens are getting even more glitchy every time. This is not the classroom. This is the washing room. Huh? Didn't I walk into a classroom? I don't really get it, but this looks like the laundry room. There's no use worrying about it, but I was in a school and now I'm suddenly in the laundry room. There's a bunch of clothes up top too. Let's see. Oh, that's not something I can... What is this? A tablet PC. This looks like a tablet computer. It looks like the power is on too. Is this the next clue? I picked up the tablet and immediately started examining it. Okay. Neo World Program. This word, Neo World. I seem to recall hearing it and seeing it a few times already. Okay. The Neo World Program has another name. Do I want to try and read that? Psychotherapeutic Communication Simulator. Or psychotherapeutic, I don't know. The Neo World Program is built with the most recent psychotherapy technology and administrative software. To develop the New World program. Individuals such as the ultimate programmer, the ultimate neurologist, and the ultimate therapist. Okay, Chiaki, I was gonna say. Chihiro was the ultimate programmer. I don't recall ever seeing an ultimate neurologist or an ultimate therapist. We're among the many talented people whose research results were utilized. By mounting a device to the cranium, the New World program allows its subjects to experience a synthetic virtual world. So I was fucking right, am I? Let's see. Additionally, the New World program has another feature. It can replace memories formed in the real world with information contained in the synthetic virtual world. Cool. Makes sense. Therefore, it is possible to undo trauma sustained in the real world through the use of virtual world. However, this device is for psychotherapeutic purposes only. Any other use is expressly forbidden. Though it is highly effective in treating brainwashing, abusing the device risks total personality disruption. Thus, extreme care must be exercised when operating this program. So, side effects. I wonder if we're going to see anything of that. Slowly, everything around me turned black. Synthetic virtual world program. A feeling of emptiness, like everything is being tainted. A feeling of weakness, like the world is collapsing beneath my feet. Everything is starting to feel meaningless. The desperate attempts to say the sad goodbyes, the conflicts, the trust I felt until now. It's all disappearing until all I feel is despair. Okay. I screamed loudly as if I was confirming the sound of my own voice. There's no way I can accept this. I am starting to accept that. There's no way something as scary as this actually exists. You gotta raise the flags more in order to clear my character route. Now then, despair is waiting for you. Impossible. This is impossible. It's all made up. Everything is all made up. Made up. Including me, too? Okay. Where do we go now? Are we going to the first floor? Okay. This is a pretty long investigation. Monokuma Theater, huh? Hey, how are you doing? Did you, enjoy the killing school trip? By the way, do you guys remember the speech I made at the beginning? From this point on, I promise you a world that truly deserves to be called game. You guys are the only ones watching this who can save them. The end of the world is nigh. Watch, what you gonna do? What's gonna happen? Isn't it exciting? Isn't it heart-throbbing? Look forward to it. Okay, where are we? This hallway. When we first arrived here, I walked down this hallway from the classroom to get to the gym. I don't really see a resemblance, but I don't like this. I can't see anything, dude. Oh crap, you scared me, Sonia. Can you get off my screen? Thank you. Where? Wasn't the... Oh yeah, this thing, right there. Okay, where am I gonna go? Is this open? No, it's not open. Is this open? No, it's not open. Get off my screen, I can't see shit. Is this open? No, it's not open. Bathrooms don't seem open. This doesn't seem open. I can't see anything. I guess we're gonna have to talk with Sonia. Because I don't see anything open, do I? Are any of these class... Oh, this classroom's open, never mind. What the fuck is that? Oh, it's a Monokuma. Okay. Let's see. I like this music. Real 8-bit music. Big object. Okay. Is this floating? That's impossible. There's no way something this big would be floating like this. But what in the world is it? And the monument I looked at that, and the moment I looked at the object, Chihiro? Hello, Chihiro. Welcome. Welcome to the New World program. A person. A floating person is talking to me. Who is it? No. Is this even a person in the first place? I'm not quite a person. I'm simply an artificial intelligence program. It would make me happy if you called me alter ego. That is the name my master gave me when he created me. It can talk. But what are you? Alter ego, artificial intelligence program. I am the master program behind the Neo World program. I'm responsible for creating and overseeing this world. However, only the observer has the authority to directly influence you guys. I can't actually exert much influence. In fact, my existence is one that you don't normally meet. I'm sort of like an apartment manager or something. I may oversee the entire apartment building, but I lack the power to manage individual rooms. But the virus has infected everything I'm supposed to be managing, okay? And because of that, this world I'm managing is acting very peculiar. Hold on. My brain can't follow what you're saying. Let me gather my thoughts first. Damn it. It's that feeling from earlier again. It's floating, like my feet are hovering above the floor. It's like I can't feel my feet or the ground. Like I can't even believe my own existence. Hey, you should know, right? Where is this place? Tell me, what is the Neo World program? The Neo World program has omitted the data collection procedure for shaping the entire world. As such, only the data was collected during the experimental stage is being utilized. Specifically, that means the data detailing Jaborek Island, where this research facility is located. That is why the previous Jaborek Island cityscape was restored. Ergo, if I am to answer your question, where is this place, the answer would be mostly Jaborek Island. Certain portions of it are different depending on the circumstances. For example, the school you're in. It appears the space is entirely under the virus's influence. That's probably why I'm appearing before you too. However, even without the virus, these circumstances are a bit unnatural. It seems the launch was rushed, and because of that, there wasn't enough time to collect any data. I'm sorry, I don't really know the circumstances of the outside world. After all, I'm simply the overseer of the Neo World program. Most of its words. I understand what they mean, but I couldn't understand what's being said. There was no way for me to acknowledge it as the truth. It would make much more sense if this was a fictional world. Wait, are you saying this world is a fictional world? I feel like you can't believe what's going on here. This missing sense of reality. All the mysteries, all the truths. They're all just fiction? Is that? Even so, I need to know. I need to know what this world is. Hey, can you tell me? Hey, can you tell me? What was the Neo World program used for in the first place? The Neo World program serves only one purpose. It is used to make the real world a splendid one. I guess you can say it's a program for creating hope. A program for creating hope. But the fact that we're here, and the fact that we don't have our memories, that's all the program's fault, right? Deleting memory is the first step toward replacing memory. Replacing memory data is one of the features of the Neo World program. With the installed memory control unit, it is possible to remove any time period you set it to. And from there, you upload the memories obtained in the virtual world. Removing memories, or any time period you set it to. So, Monokuma was right. We did lose our school memories. But why? Why us? Why were our school memories taken away? There's a reason for that, right? That is a mystery to me, too, okay? Putting the program on the survivors of Hope's Academy while it's still in its experimental stage. I'm sure there was a very good reason. But unfortunately, I don't know what's happening in the outside world. I'm sorry. Are you saying we're lab rats? That's the only thing I can think of. It sounds like we're just lab rats. The Future Foundation did that to us? But they're trying to save the world, right? Or is the Future Foundation not our ally? I'm sorry, I can't provide that much help. If only I was more reliable. I wouldn't have lost my authority to a virus like this. All these new words make my head feel like it's about to burst. Can you tell me more about the Observer and that virus? Well, for this session, the New World program was programmed to house 15 people along with 2 monitors. 2 monitors? Yeah, they were disguised as a teacher and one of the students. They were intended to guide the participants in this way. By the way, the Observer in the teacher role has been given the authority to influence you all, but the Observer in the student role was not. They weren't given any special authority at all, so they seemed the same as everyone else. What kind of authority does the teacher role have? As an example, the teacher creates the rules of this world and manages them. Okay. Let's see. If the teacher is properly managing the rules they've created, there is no risk. But because of the virus infected everything, that has changed. It changed this world where violence shouldn't have existed in the first place. The Neo World program would have promised eternal peace. But just like the outside world, it's become a world filled with violence and death. What is that virus? I don't really know the details behind its true identity, but that function is beyond my capabilities. No matter how much I try to stop it, it behaves as if it already knows what I'm attempting to do. In the end, it stole the portion of my abilities which contained the authority to build the world. It was like it was the Grandmaster chess player. I desperately tried to fight back so it wouldn't have complete control. But even so, a portion of the world has been modified at its convenience. She's probably talking about Monokuma Rock and the Funhouse. Based on what she's saying, it sounds like she's on the receiving end of a one-sided attack. But Alter Ego should be an impressive artificial intelligence that the Future Foundation created. I can tell that just by communicating with her. Which means, this supposed virus is so smart that it surpasses this Alter Ego? If so, does that virus possess an artificial intelligence just like her? Damn it, what the heck? An artificial intelligence waging an attack against another one? That's so freaking irritating. But how did that virus infect the New World program? The New World program exists in isolation. It's impossible it was infected through a network. I'm fairly connected, someone physically uploaded it. Okay, that's fucked up. Physically. Perhaps someone secretly brought an external memory drive containing the virus into the facility and directly uploaded it into the main computer where the Neo World program is installed. Based on my calculations, that's most likely what happened. It was brought to the Future Foundation's facility. Well, the only person who could enter the facility is someone who was a member of the Future Foundation. Damn it, what am I thinking? Why am I assuming that what I just heard is the truth? Why am I assuming that everything is a lie? Okay. Observers. Neo World program has been updated. But it's true that the virus is powerful and that I'm completely overwhelmed by it. But I'm still able to defend the essential areas, so it has a limit too. A limit? If it took over an observer, then it has to follow the rules of an observer. Such as, in order to end the program and release everyone, I need to follow the correct procedure. And, okay, even if you're just a god in the machine, that's enough hints from you. If you're gonna say something more, suppose that you exist between life and death. The death of yourself is inevitable. If so, it can be parallel to the deflection based on the definition of existence that constitutes the relationship. From there, the paradigm change results by being cut off rapidly and cause a situation where your own existence is unobservable and I don't know what's happening. Accelerating crosses with the joint ownership of the world and the situation from the context invites your death, 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 death. And some more deaths. Hey. More deaths? A few more deaths. If you're gonna say something more, some death. Okay. And that's Makoto, isn't it? What the heck? What just happened? You're right there, aren't you? Someone is just right there, right? Huh? Who are you? Are you different from the earlier one? Maybe he can't hear my voice from this side? I'm currently talking to the world through Alter Ego. Ever since you guys vanished into that space, the video's feedback has been pretty distorted. But even so, we were forced to watch you this entire time. The things you guys were forced to do, we were forced to watch it. Forced to watch us. I didn't want to save you right away, but because of the virus's interference, I couldn't. Our orders are no longer accepted, including shutdown requests. The Neo World program is beyond our control now. In that world, that person created an independent country that doesn't accept outside interference. But Alter Ego created an opportunity for me to speak to you directly. If this means that's working, then it means that the person I need to talk to is right there. I hope. Looks like this guy can't even hear me or see me. Just, who is this guy anyway? Is he our ally? Since there's no time, I'm going to say what I need to say and believe you're there listening to me. But first, I should apologize to everyone. I know apologizing won't help, but we didn't imagine something like this would happen. We never expected such an atrocious virus was lurking inside the Neo World program. But that's entirely our fault. It's our responsibility for not realizing it until it was too late. But it's not just the virus either. I can't say for sure that the program didn't have any problems in the first place. To tell you the truth, I was unsure about whether or not to run the program on you guys. But this was the only way to save you all. I wanted to save you guys. Save us. What did you want to save us from? Why would this save us? You've already seen the password to enter the graduation exam ground, right? You know, 11037. 11037, that's the number we found at Izumi Castle. The door to the ancient ruin was supposed to open after you all finished gathering the hope fragments. From there, you guys were supposed to challenge the graduation exam. However, I prepared that password just in case something went wrong. Like I said earlier, I had my doubts that this program was perfect. Even if the chance was slim, I thought the observer might end up going rogue. That's the reason I left the 11037 password in a place where the teacher role would not be able to go. I never thought Nagito, who saw it first, would erase that password. Anyway, I'm also the person who set the password to that number. That number contains a secret. Leon, someone close to me, left that number to save me when I was in a dilemma. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? I'm entrusting that will to you all. I've entrusted it to your future. But that person is trying to abuse the graduation exam. I'm sure they are going to crush you with despair using the graduation exam that's waiting for you. But I want you guys to endure it without giving up on hope. I want you guys to withstand it until I get there, because I have a secret to defeat them. Does that mean he has a secret plan to defeat Monokuma? In a worst case scenario, where an observer who has the role of a teacher goes rogue, I prepared a hidden command to use at the graduation exam site. It's the forced shutdown sequence. Forced shutdown sequence. Even the teacher's authority can't stop that command. It's a way to end this that you guys can choose on your own, independently of the observer. Which means, even if they stole the teacher's authority, they shouldn't be able to stop it. If you use that, you guys will win. However, in order to start that forced shutdown sequence, you need more than half the number of people. And in order to do that, I need to somehow get that number. I don't know what that means. Okay, so things actually escalated way quicker than I thought they would. And we're here again. What was that just now? Hey Hashime, what was that weirdness just now? Nothing, really. I see. Oh well, anyway, that's all the hints you're gonna get. If that no good artificial intelligence tells you any more useless stuff, I'm gonna butt it again. Did Monokuma not notice what just happened? It's been a while since I've spoken at length, but it was important to talk to you. It was worth waiting a long time here. Hey, about that guy just now. There shouldn't be anything else for you to ask me. I see. It'd be bad if Monokuma overheard us. That means Monokuma doesn't know about the conversation I had with that guy just now. You guys have a weapon. A very powerful weapon. It all depends on how you guys use that weapon. The only thing I can do is prevent the virus's invasion with all my might so you guys can use that weapon. The rest is up to you all. Do your best. Do our best, huh? But what do we have to do our best at? The mystery is getting solved. I'm finally starting to see the truth. But what are we supposed to do when that truth is really a lie? We know we're working towards a conclusion that nobody wants to hear. But still, do we really need to work hard and do our best? Is there really a reason to do our best? If everything was a lie, then isn't everything just meaningless? It seems for the killings too. Even though we had to experience something as painful as that, something as tragic as that, wouldn't all that be meaningless too? When the world is flipped over and becomes so irrational, what am I supposed to do? Okay. Shutdown sequence. What do we do now? We leave. And is this the end of the investigation or is there more? Seems like it's the end. Okay. Can't read that. It's time for a long-awaited graduation exam. Please enter the red door. Okay. Okay. A red door, huh? It's just a waste of time thinking about what this all means right now. For now, I need to finish this. I need to just focus on that. There it is. I'm not gonna enter though. So, this is where I'm gonna end the episode, of course. It was a pretty lengthy investigation. I was not expecting it to be that long, or at least it felt long. I actually don't know. My perception of time is not the best. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Some things were very surprising for me. Like, it kind of went in accordance to some of my predictions, but still, as I always say, the Danganronpa franchise knows how to throw a curveball at you, even when you know what to expect. And that's what makes it interesting. So I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as me. If you like the content, remember to subscribe, hit the like button, and visit my social media. As I always say, I leave them in every description of every video, so you can't miss it. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. We'll probably do the trial in like 2 sections, depending on its length. And yeah, basically it. Wish you all much love. See you guys next time.